ओम नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिय सर्वविद्यास्वरूपान्तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याता सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। यस्यात्मभूतस्य गुरोः प्रसादात् अहं विमुक्तोऽस्मि शरीरबन्धात्। सर्वोपदेष्टुः पुरुषोत्तमस्य तस्याङ्घ्रियुग्मं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। We are seeing the philosophical significance of Sri Ramakrishna Aratrikam. In the last class, we saw Swami Vivekananda poured his devotion towards Sri Ramakrishna through this song. The first sloka of the song contains essential teachings of entire Vedanta. Khandane bhava bandhane जगवंदने वंदितो माय निरंजन नर रूपधर निर्गुण गुणमय. That is the first shloka. In that, 3 words he used from Vedanta. He described the Lord Nirgunaha, Gunamayaha, Niranjanaha. The word Nirguna reveals Brahma Swarupa, the nature of Brahman. Brahman is infinite, non-dual conscious entity. The word Gunamayaha reveals the very same infinite, non-dual conscious entity appears or manifests in the form of Jiva Jagat Ishvaraha. One and the same entity is attributeless with all attributes. That is the revelation. One and the same entity is attributeless and with all attributes. The formless conscious entity has manifested in the form of entire creation, including the living beings. That is the revelation. How can one and the same entity be Nirgunaha and Sagunaha? The attributes certainly pollute the substance. Will not the papa or doshas of the creation pollute the Brahman is the question. If we see the creation, it is full of doshas. Anityatva doshaha, sadishayatva doshaha, apekshikatva doshaha. Whatever comes exists for some time and departs. Anityatva doshaha. Whatever we see is subject to improvement. Anything we see in the creation can be fine-tuned. That is called sa-adishayatva. Sadishayatva doshaha. Then third doshaha, apekshikatva. Everything is interdependent. One is dependent on another. So like that, if Bhagavan has become this creation, then does that Bhagavan exist still as it is, or is he polluted by all these three doshas is the question. The answer was Niranjanaha. He is not polluted. How can he say so? He is not polluted because the Gunamayatvam, the manifestation is lesser order of reality. In the last class I gave an example. A person gets lottery money in dream. Then he goes to the bank manager and asks whether my bank amount has increased. Then the bank manager will ask, when did you deposit it? In dream, sir. Then the bank manager will tell, please go and ask the dream bank manager. Even though he has counted that money and deposited in the dream, it will not affect the bank balance of the waking person, because it is lesser order of reality. Similarly, even though this creation is full of doshas, limitations, still the Lord is not affected because asangaha. He is asangaha, unaffected. How can you say he is unaffected? Because he is paramarthika satyam, higher order of reality. Such a Lord who is nirgunaha at the same time gunamayaha simultaneously, and who is niranjanaha takes a particular form. Nara Rupa Dharaha is the fourth word used in the shloka. This Nara Rupa Dharaha reveals Avatara Tattva. Even though Bhagavan has manifested in the form of creation and the creature, once in a while he assumes a particular form and comes to the creation and lives among the creatures. So that is called Nararupa Dharatvam, assuming human form. This is called Avataravada. Jiva also essentially Chetana Tattvam, he also assumes body, but the difference between Ishvara and Jiva is, Ishvara knows that he assumes body, Jiva forgets that he assumes body. For example, in our dream, we create a creation, dream world. Having created the dream world, we assume a dream body inside the dream world. Even though all the bodies in the dream are we ourselves, our own mind, including the tiger body, the roads, the train, the office, the suitcase, everything is waker's mind. But still, in that dream creation, waker assumes a particular body. Then only he can run chased by the tiger. The person who is sleeping cannot even move, doesn't move even. But still he experiences as though he is running. That assumption of new body in dream world is forgotten, therefore he runs. Suppose if he remembers that I have projected this creation and I have become this creation, dream creation, and I have assumed a particular dream body inside the dream creation, if he remembers, then he will not run chased by the tiger. He will laugh at the tiger. My dear tiger, I give existence to you. Like that he will laugh at. But unfortunately, he forgets. Therefore, he runs for his life. And suddenly when he screams, a person next to him who is not inside the dream world comes and wakes up. Mother comes and wakes up. Why are you shouting? Get up, my dear. then he finds everything is mere projection. You take this example and relate with the Lord's creation. Even though he has become the entire creation, he assumes particular bodies. All the bodies in the creation is his body only. That's why Sarvam Kalu Idam Brahma, Shastram says. Aitad Atmam Idagum Sarvam Tat Satyam. That Satyavasti alone has become all this. Still, he assumes a particular body for a particular mission. That assumption, that assuming particular body is called avatara. Jiva also assumes a particular body in this birth as human body, but that Jiva's assumption is not called avatara. It is jananam, janma. So there is a great difference between Jiva assuming body and Ishvara assuming body. We will see today what exactly means avatara, because nowadays everybody claims himself as avatara. And Tamil Nadu, it is famous. This avatara, that avatara. So what exactly means avatara? There are three differences, major differences between an ordinary human being and the incarnation of the Lord. First difference is Karana Bedaha. Cause-wise difference. Jiva's Janma is caused by his ignorance. That I am Akhanda Vastu. He doesn't know. Therefore, he has Dehabhimanam. Therefore, he had lots of desires. To fulfill those desires, he assumes this body. So, Jiva's Janma is caused by ignorance, self-ignorance. Whereas, Ishvara's Avatara is because of Sarvajñatvam. Ishvara's Avatara is due to Sarvajñatvam. Sarvajñatvam means all-knowing capacity. Everything he knows, therefore he assumes this body. It is a deliberate assumption. Whereas Jiva's assuming body is forced by prarabdha karma, forced by his punya papa karma. Therefore, Jiva's assuming body is a fall from his real status. That's why Bhaktas and Jignasus praise the Lord, O Lord, please save me from this samsara sagara. I am fallen in the ocean of suffering. So he has fallen. He doesn't know where he will fall. Where he will fall, he doesn't know. To which parent he will be born, he doesn't know. In which culture he will be born, he doesn't know. In which body he will fall, he doesn't know. Whenever I see he, you have to put a she also. It's all common. Nowadays, gender equality has to be preserved. So the Jiva falls. Why it falls? Because of prarabdha karma, which are nothing but fruits of his desires. Whereas Ishvara assumes body deliberately, therefore it is called descendance. If somebody pushes anyone from the 4th floor, it is called fall. If the same person comes down deliberately, it is called descendance. Why he should descend? Because of karuna, compassion. Because of compassion, he descends. This compassion is due to his sarvajñatva. Somebody is suffering, therefore I should go and help him. That is the knowledge. Therefore he descends from the real state. And this descendants is based on samashti prarabdha, they call it. So many people are crying. So many devotees, so many sadhakas are crying. So in order to save them, he comes. These are all karana bedaha. Then swarupa bedaha. Nature wise difference. Nature wise, jiva is different from incarnation. Human being is different from incarnation. First difference is, human being is in bondage, slavery. Life is a painful drag. Whereas Avatara's life is a leela. Whatever happens in his life is leela. It's a game. Jiva's body is from elementals. Pancha bhautikam shariram. According to Shastra, the Maya Shakti of Ishvara manifests in the form of Pancha Bhutas, 5 elements. Akasha, Vayu, Agnihi, Apaha, water, and Prithvi. Jiva's body is product of elementals, whereas incarnation's body is Avirbhavam, they call it. It is directly from Maya. Ours is third level product. Maya to Panchabhutas to Pancha Bhautikam Shariram. Whereas incarnation's body is Maya to Shariram. That is why Bhagavan says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tattvataha. Mama janma divyam janma. It's a divine birth. Even though he lives in the society, he goes through all the sufferings which humanity goes through, still he doesn't cry. You may ask, Rama cried. Rama cried. If you go and ask Rama, he will say, I did not cry. He will say, it is all part of the dialogue. It's a drama, it's a leela. That's why Ajopisan avyayatma bhutanam ishwaropisan swam prakritim adhishtaya sambhavami atma mayaya. My prakriti, my shakti is under my control, whereas you are under its control. In the last class, I gave an example. 2 people are surrounded by security forces. One is the Prime Minister, another is terrorist. For appearance sake, both are very, very important people, VVIPs. And in some cases, terrorist may have higher security than the Prime Minister. But who is slave, who is master? Even though Prime Minister is surrounded by security forces, he is the master. Even though terrorist is surrounded by higher security forces, terrorist is a slave. That's why Bhagavan says, Ajopi san avyayatma bhutanam ishwaropi san. I am ajaha, unborn. I don't take birth at all. Bhutanam ishwaraha. Avyayatma. I cannot take any form, but still, Ajopi san. San means, san pratyaya they call it. Still, sambhavami. That is the problem. If anybody understands this miraculous birth, he also will be free from birth. Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tattvataha. Tattvataha, one who understands, naiti mameti sorjun. He doesn't go for samsara again, another birth, mam yeti. He attains me. Therefore, the Swarupa of Ishvara's birth is, he is Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta Swarupaha, but still appears to be Anitya, Baddha, crying human being. And his body is Mayikam, not Pancha Bhautikam. Human being's body is pancha bhautikam, elementals, full of elementals. That is why the doctor gives a tablet which contains some elements, some medicine. In that medicine, what is there? Some elements are there. So these elements will work on this body. If you have knee pain, he gives calcium tablet. What does it mean? So you can manipulate the body through elements because the body is full of elementals. Whereas Ishvara's body is Maya Shariram. He can appear and he can disappear. We cannot do that. We can come and go, but he cannot appear and disappear. And he can appear in 1,000 forms or 10,000 forms at a time. I also can do, Swami. When I enter a room with full of mirrors, I also can appear hundreds of forms. If you say, Vedanta says it is not your form, it is the shadow reflection of your form. Whereas here Krishna married 16,100 girls simultaneously. To marry 16,100 girls simultaneously, 16,100 pendals should be there, okay? Then each marriage should be attended at least by 10 people. And each marriage requires the Tavilwan and musician, and each marriage requires someone to bless, and each marriage requires one priest. Even if it is registered marriage, one registered officer. Like that, if you count, each marriage will have at least 50 people. So where he will found 50 people for each marriage? What he did, you know? He gave appointment to the fathers of all the girls same day, same time. But one appointment is not known to another. So one fellow is coming and sitting in the parlor of the Krishna's palace. He wanted to meet Krishna. Then next to him somebody was sitting and he asked, what is the problem? You want to? No problem. Today I have come to attend my daughter's marriage. Then this father also says, oh, your daughter's marriage also today? To whom? To Krishna only. Similarly, he also says, my daughter's marriage also is with Krishna only. Then they were wondering how Krishna will manage 16,100 priests, 16,100 Tavilwans. By Maya, he has managed to conduct the program successfully. The witness was our Narada Bhagavan. He was wondering what is happening. That is called Maya Shakti. In Gopika Geetam, each Gopika has a Krishna. Suppose in human life, a person loves 2 or 3 girls. What will be his condition? Imagine. One girl asks him to come to coffee day shop. Another girl asks him to come to Vasanta Bhavan. Where he will go? But simultaneously here Krishna can go. Because his shariram is Maya Shariram. And human body is, because of ignorance, therefore he lives the life, entire life, almost entire life he lives with ignorance. He doesn't know what will happen tomorrow or next hour. He himself doesn't know. Lying down on the ICU ward, he was suffering out of pain. His wife also cries. This patient says, don't worry, I will not go. Telling this, he goes. But whereas Avatara live in knowledge, he knows not only the dialogue of this particular Janma, all the dialogues, all the leelas of all the Janmas he has taken. That's what Bhagavan says in Gita. Bahuni me vechitani janmani tava charjuna. Both of us have taken birth many times. Tani aham veda natvam veta parantapa. The difference is, I know everything. What type of avatars I have taken. and what type of leela I have done and what are all the dialogues I have spoken. I know everything. In future what I am going to do, that also I know. Whereas you don't know, natvam vetah parantapa. So nature wise also lots of difference. Then third difference is purpose. Difference with regard to purpose, uddesha bhedaha they call it. Why human being is born, why avatara is born. Human being is born to exhaust his punya papa karma. Prarabdha karma it is called. Whereas avatara is born to establish dharma. Dharma rakshanartham bhagavat avataraha. That's what Bhagavan says. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Atmanam aham srijami. I create myself. Whereas human being is created by his prarabdha karma. To exhaust that prarabdha karma. Prarabdha means punyam and papam. Punya karma will give him sukham, papa karma will give him dukkham. Whereas Bhagavan or incarnation is not affected by sukha and dukkha. Then entire purpose of his birth is dharma rakshanam. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami. Yuge yuge sambhavami. Therefore it is for loka anugraham. In order to help the humanity, he takes form. Whereas human being is born in order to exhaust his punya papa karma. Since human being is born due to prarabdha karma, forcibly sent down to go through the pleasure and pain, human being's body, parentage, environment, lifestyle and achievements, sukha, dukkha, everything is determined by prarabdham. Except the freedom to do sadhana to get rid of the entire cycle, all other things are prarabdham controlled. We cannot determine our parentage. We cannot determine our lifespan. We cannot determine our skin color. Nowadays very, very important. If we can determine skin color, this entire cosmetic industry is irrelevant. Because we cannot do that, cosmetic industry is flourishing like anything. So we cannot determine our lifestyle, which degree we will pass. Even though we like to have something in our life, but still we are not able to have complete mastery over that lifestyle. We cannot determine the birthplace and death place, birth date and death date, like that. So does it mean entire thing is determined by prarabdham? Is there any place for willpower in human life? Shastra says yes, there is a place for willpower in human life, and that area is redeeming yourself. Maturing your mind is completely within your control. Gaining maturity is completely with a human. If you don't bother about gaining maturity, maturity will not happen. Body will mature, but mind will not mature. So maturity and gaining knowledge by doing sadhanas are completely with the free will of human being, whereas all other experiences are out of his purview and it is controlled by prarabdha karma. That's why even mothers used to say, when children are adamant, they used to say, Yam prarabdha karma. Vandu tolacha, yam prarabdha karma. He has come in my life due to my prarabdha karma. Like that, human life is determined by prarabdham, and he lives as a karta and bhokta. Because of ignorance, he considers himself as the actor and enjoyer. Because of this kartrutvam, that action produces karma phalam, and again it is added to his bank account. Again punarjanma, again papa punya, again sukha dukkha. Like that, it is a vicious cycle. Whereas Bhagavan's birth is for the sake of loka anugraham. That loka anugraham is in the form of dharma rakshanam. And it is preceded by prayers of the entire humanity. Humanity prays to the Lord. The good people pray to the Lord, "O Lord, this vehicle is out of control, save our soul." SOS, SMS they send. By receiving one SMS, he doesn't come. Because nowadays everyone sends SMS. "Oh Lord, please save me, please save me." He doesn't come to save an individual, but he comes to save the entire humanity. Therefore, it is preceded by prayers of sadhus and good people. And since he comes voluntarily, he can decide the type of body, place of birth, time, environment, parentage, everything he can decide. If he wants to have a fun, he can come of human body, of animal body. He can take any type of body and come in any environment. Generally, every creature is born out of parent. Without parent also he can come. That's how in Ramayana, Vishwamitra ji wakes up Rama. Kaushalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate. Somewhere else we heard this song, where it is where it is Suprabhatam it is called. It's not Venkatesa Suprabhatam, it is called Suprabhatam, and this was sung by Vishwamitra ji. Kaushalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narashardula Kartavyam Daivamankhitam. There Vishwamitra ji wakes up Rama. As a small boy, 16-year-old boy, he was just hesitating to get up. Then there one commentator writes, as though Rama asked Vishwamitra, "When I came in the Narasimha Avatara, that time also you should have sung this. Why you are waking up? Kartavyam Devamankitam. You have to do lot of things. This is Sandhya Kala, get up, and lot of prayers and other things are there, you have to do, perform. Why didn't you ask that time? That time also I came in Sandhya Kala only, evening Sandhya. You should have told, hey Narasimha, first perform Sandhya Puja and Gayatri, then you can take care of this Hiranyakashipu. You should have told." No. That time, for Narasimha form, what type of Shastra is there, I don't know. Because Narashardula, you are now in the human form, therefore all rules and regulations. So, all these forms can be taken at his will. If he comes in particular form, that type of rules and regulations apply. And any action he does in the incarnation, during the lifetime of the incarnation, is not affected by that action. He can kill thousands and thousands of people, lakhs of people he can kill. See, if we kill one cockroach, Shastra says you have to do prayashchitta. Or one ant if you kill, or mosquito if you kill, especially through that electric bat, Shastra says you have to do prayashchitta in the form of nama japa. Extra 108 you have to tell. Because it is considered as a sin, even killing a mosquito. But whereas Bhagavan's life we find, he kills thousands and lakhs of people, or he instigates others to kill lakhs of people, either in Ramavatara or in Krishnavatara. But he is not affected. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha. No karma affects me, he says. What is the secret, O my Lord? because he is asangaha. He doesn't have kartrutva buddhi. He is not karta. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha tasya kartaram apimam vidhi akartaram avyayam. Even though I have created this creation, Arjuna, please understand I have not created. In the last class I gave this example. Suppose somebody comes and says to you, sir, I am the owner of this factory. Please understand, I am not the owner of this factory. If anybody says, what we will think? Okay, let us go to Kilpakkam Medical College. But Bhagavan says, even though I have created entire creation with all its Vyavastha system, still, Vidhi Akartaram. Because he has that knowledge that I don't do anything. Gunaha guneshu varthante. So, in short, three differences are there between human life and incarnation's life. One is cause-wise, karana bhedaha. Ajnanam is karanam for human beings' birth. Sarvajnatvam is karanam. Karuna is karanam for Bhagavan's birth. Then, nature-wise, jivaha, human being is a bound soul. Ishvaraha, avataraha is nitya shuddha buddha mukta svabhavaha, ever free individual. And uddesha bedha, purpose-wise, the difference is, in order to exhaust his punya papa karma phalam, he assumes this body, whereas Bhagavan comes in order to establish the dharma. Then the question may come, how to know who is avatara? Because everybody claims. Or even mother says to their children, avatarame. Like that they scold. Scolding word it is. Mother scolds child, you are avatara. So how to know who is avatara, who is ordinary? In fact, there is no external method at all to know it. We cannot proclaim any individual as avatara. Shastra talks about lot of things about the avatara, but all of them are indications. Let us take the three differences itself. One is born out of ignorance, another is born out of karuna. How we know that so and so is born out of compassion and so born out of ignorance? During Krishnavatara, there was another fellow with 4 hands. Poundraka Vasudevan, one fellow was there. He also had 4 hands. And he also could do miracles. And he also had Shankha, Chakra, everything. So he is to tell that Vasudeva Krishna, that is real Krishna, is a fake Krishna. I am Poundraka Vasudeva, real avatara, like that. So everybody went and told to Bhagavan Krishna. Then Bhagavan told, see, duplication can be there in any other area, including rinse soap, but not in avatara area. So like that he went and killed that person. So how to know who is real, who is fake? Actually there is no external signs. There is no external insignia. Even though in photos we may see some hollow round behind every avatara, in reality it is not there. Then how to know? How to know? Only one indication is there, and that also indirect indication, and that indication is sadhus will be always under his feet. Grand people, the noble people will be at his feet. At whose feet? At the feet of the avatara. In any avatara, the grandest person in the society will be at the feet of the avatara. One devotee, Western devotee, praised Swami Vivekananda. You are so intelligent, so noble, so wonderful, so knowledgeable. But we don't find that type of intelligence, nobility and other thing in Sri Ramakrishna, like that, one devotee told. Then Swamiji replied, idiots cannot understand the grandness of the incarnations. Suppose somebody praises you, you are wonderful, nice. So you feel nice or bad? You feel nice. Even though you tell, don't tell, don't tell. You tell what? Please tell more, please tell more. It is like a person telling while serving, no, I don't want, no, I don't, okay, give. I don't want, okay, give. Even though you say openly, no, don't tell like that, but still inside heart of the heart, we feel nice when somebody praises us. Whereas these noble people cannot be carried away by somebody's praise. So they know the reality. So Swami Vivekananda says, I consider myself as an unworthy person even to untie the shoes of Sri Ramakrishna. Imagine. The entire world glorifies that individual. That individual says, I am not worthy enough even to untie the shoes of the Sri Ramakrishna. That is the one sign you find in any avatara. Mahatmas are under the feet of the Lord. In Krishna Avatara, whenever Bhagavan does Namaskara, Vyasacharya doesn't bless him. Vyasacharya is more aged, knowledgeable, Rishi. Still, he will not bless. Seeing this, Duryodhana will tell, see, this fellow is not qualified even to get blessings of this great Mahatma, like that he is to scold. Why Vyasacharya doesn't bless? Because I am not the person qualified to bless the Lord. Similarly, Bhishmacharya, similarly, Dronacharya. They know what is what, who is what. Even though they don't proclaim outside, still they know. So, that is the indication. Siddhis are not criteria for establishing anybody as a incarnation. If you say, Krishna is incarnation because he has lifted Govardhana Giri, I will say, Ravana is greater incarnation because he has lifted Himalayas. If you say Krishna can fly, Ravana also can fly. So siddhis are not criteria for establishing somebody as incarnation. Nor the limitations which we see in the life of incarnation can deny his status. Say for example, Rama cried. It's a limitation. Because Bhagavan says, I know everything. Still, he cries, where is my Sita? Where is my Sita? Where is my Sita? People ask, if he is Bhagavan, he should not have cried. So that's a limitation, emotional limitation, knowledge-wise limitation. But still, no one can deny that he is incarnation. Why? Because you don't know whether he cries out of real suffering or out of dialogue suffering. There is a dialogue suffering. In cinema, everybody cries. Oh, like that everybody cries. So if you go and ask, why you are crying? They will laugh. I am not crying. I am earning. I am earning. For earning purpose, I am crying. Not out of suffering. So, no limitations can disprove the status of the incarnation. And his life will be a model life, a guideline to the entire humanity. Because the purpose of Avatara is Dharma Rakshanam. Therefore, he will perform 3 things in his life. One is, he will re-establish the principles by bringing out the age-old principle which are in the Vedas. He will re-establish that Vedic principle. One thing. Second thing is, he will establish the atmosphere to follow that principle. The atmosphere to follow that principle. And third one is, he himself will follow those principles. Dharma Rakshanam Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Cha Dushkritam. Both put together, only one. In order to protect the good people, destroy bad people, Bhagavan says there. Both put together is only one. To protect the good people, if requires, he will destroy the bad people. Not necessarily every avatara he will go and kill. If he takes Kshatriya body, then only he will destroy the people. If same Bhagavan takes Brahmana body, he will not kill. In Ramakrishna Avatara we see. Sri Ramakrishna has not destroyed anyone, but he destroyed the inclination, the tendency, the bad tendency of the humanity. So, sadhu paritranam, in other words, shishta rakshanam, shishtas, noble people, they have to be protected. Because to protect science, you have to protect the scientists. Correct? To protect science, you have to protect the scientists. Because science is not tangible one. Those who pursue that, they have to be protected. Then this intangible science can be protected. Similarly, to protect principles, the people who follow those principles should be protected. That's called Shishta Rakshanam. If necessary, to protect that good people, if necessary, bad people can be washed off. Amputation, they call it. Two types of medication. One is giving more immunity to the immunity system. Another one is amputation. When you cannot save the body, what you do? A part of the body is sacrificed. Both are Shishta Rakshanam, Dushta Shikshanam. Then second one is establishing the Vaidika Dharma. What do you mean by Vaidika Dharma? That Dharma which tells the humanity, hey humanity, you are Amritasya Putraha. Find out this truth in your life. The purpose of human life is finding this fact that you don't have birth at all, you are not a samsari, you are Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhavaha, Tadu Tvam Asi. This is called Vaidika Dharma. This Dharma has to be established. Then third one is, he has to follow those principles, Vedic principles, in his own life. In the context of day-to-day life, it is called Sadharana Dharma Rakshanam. In the context of spiritual practices, it is called Moksha Dharma Rakshanam. So all put together, he is very, very busy. You cannot find any avatara lazy, what you call lethargic. From the day one onwards, they will be engaged. In some incarnation, it is visible for everyone. In some, it is not visible. In Krishna's life, it is visible. From day one onwards, he started. Putana, then Shakadasura, like that, one by one, started. But in Sri Ramakrishna's life, we find it, slowly it is manifesting. So this is how Avataravata is explained in our scripture. Swamiji has put all these ideas which I have talked, all these ideas, he has put in small word, Nara Rupa Dharaha. Niranjanaha, Papa Punya Rahitaha, without Papa and Punyam, still Nara Rupa Dharaha. Generally, human birth is because of Papam and Punyam. You are Papa Punya Rahitaha, but still assume the body. Therefore, your assumption of body is called incarnation. More details we will see in the future classes. Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Drida Vai Ishāvataram Parameshamīdyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namāmi.